We see logos every single day, right? They're on our phones, our coffee cups, our shoes, everywhere. But what is a brand, really? Well, let's dig into that because it is so much more than just a cool-looking logo. We're going to break down the strategic power behind building a brand that doesn't just get you noticed, but actually creates a lasting legacy.
Okay, so to really get why branding is so critical, we have to start with a pretty jaw-dropping number. Get this. Industry research shows that a whopping 95% of new consumer products fail. Just think about that for a second. That means 19 out of every 20 products that hit the market are gone before you know it. So what is going on here? Why this massive failure rate? Is it just a bunch of bad products? Or maybe poor marketing? And yeah, sure, those things can definitely play a part. But more often than not, the real root of the problem comes down to one thing: a total misunderstanding of what a brand is supposed to be.
And that brings us to what we're going to call the 95% failure problem. In this first part of our explainer, we're going to see exactly why branding isn't just some item on a marketing checklist. It's the strategic answer to this huge business challenge.
You know, having a great logo might get you noticed in a super crowded marketplace. It's kind of like shouting your name in a packed room. But shouting doesn't build relationships, does it? It doesn't build trust. To survive and not become part of that 95%, you have to go way deeper. Real branding is all about building something with tangible, perceived value that actually connects with people.
So, if it's not the logo, then what is it? Well, to answer that, we've got to look beyond the visuals and talk about this concept called brand equity. This, right here, is the real engine that makes a successful brand go.
Think of it this way. A product is what you sell, but a brand is the whole story. It's the identity, the values, that gut feeling or emotional connection a customer has with your company. It's the whole package, you know? Not just the name tag you decide to slap on it. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because we can actually break down that gut feeling. Brand equity is built on 4 key ingredients. First up, awareness. Simple enough, right? Do people even know you exist? Then there's perceived value. Do they think you're worth the money? Next, positive associations. What good things pop into their head when they think of you? And finally, the holy grail, customer loyalty. That powerful instinct to pick you over everyone else, time and time again. Building up all that equity doesn't just happen by accident. It's the result of a very deliberate plan. And that brings us to the brand strategy toolbox. We're going to look at the different plays companies run to build those 4 pillars and beat the odds. All right, so you've got 2 major blueprints to choose from here. On one side, you have the branded house. Think about Mercedes-Benz. They use that one powerful name to build massive awareness and let all those positive associations trickle down to every car they make. Then you have the house of brands, like Procter & Gamble. They build completely separate brands, Tide, Pampers, Olay, each one with its own unique identity and perceived value targeted at a very specific audience. Okay, what about growth? Well, a brand extension is when you take your existing customer loyalty and you jump into a totally new field. Remember when Jell-O used its famous name to start selling pudding pops? That's a brand extension. A line extension, though, is more focused. It's about deepening that loyalty by offering more options in the same category. Think Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Cherry Coke. It's all about giving loyal customers more reasons to stick with you. And believe me, the toolbox is deep. You've got co-branding, where you borrow some of the positive vibes from a partner brand. There's licensing, where you literally rent out your brand's equity. And then there's attitude branding, which is almost entirely focused on creating a powerful emotional feeling, like Nike's Just Do It. Every single tool is designed to build up one or more of those equity pillars we talked about. So, we've covered the classic playbook. But in today's world, there's a new, incredibly powerful concept that kind of supercharges everything, especially loyalty. It's called the Coolness Inspiration Engine. And this is all about taking your brand from something people just buy to something they genuinely want to be a part of. So, what does it even mean for a brand to be cool? Well, research actually has a definition for it. It's a perception. It's when a brand is seen as innovative, authentic, distinctive, and in touch with what's going on in the world. This isn't just about being trendy for a season. It's about having a real, compelling character that people are drawn to.
And this lays out the psychological journey perfectly. First, a company has to cultivate that coolness with a unique, authentic image. Then, that coolness sparks inspiration in customers, forging a really strong emotional connection. And finally, this is the magic part, that inspiration unlocks co-creation.
Suddenly, inspired customers are motivated to actively take part in the brand story themselves.
Which brings us to the ultimate goal of modern branding, and maybe the ultimate weapon against that 95% failure rate. It's about completely transforming the relationship, moving someone from just a passive customer to an active co-creator.
So what does co-creation actually look like? Well, it's when your customers basically become your partners. They start contributing to product ideas, they get involved in marketing campaigns, they create their own content that features your brand, and they build a strong community around it. They're not just your audience anymore, they're part of the team.
Now this is a fascinating little detail from the research. It turns out that direct interaction between the brand and a customer actually strengthens that feeling of coolness and inspiration. But what's really interesting is that interaction between customers themselves can sometimes dilute it. So the takeaway is that a brand's direct engagement with its fans is way more powerful than just letting them talk amongst themselves, because it keeps that core, authentic connection strong.
And this quote just brings it all home, doesn't it? Your logo might be the name tag, but the real substance comes from the interactions. It's not about what you say you are, it's about the experience you create, the community you build, and the relationships you nurture. That's the stuff that builds real, lasting equity.
So, as we wrap this up, it leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about. From the shoes we wear to the tech we use, we are constantly interacting with brands. And the question is no longer just what brands do you buy, but what brand are you helping to create?